Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to my stove, and I'm your host, AB. Today we have Reema Rasool in our studio. Reema is an entrepreneur, of women's rights organizer, and mother of two. Currently, she is running for Congress in New York's 3rd District, looking to become the first Muslim American to represent New York State. So let's go and welcome our lovely guest today, Reema Rasool. Ta-da!
Assalamualaikum, Ebi. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm doing good. How are you, Reema?
Very good, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our honor to have you here because I know that you are very, very busy with politics. And despite of that, you were able to take some time out for us.
Anything for you.
So let me acknowledge this and announce it to the audience that Reema is my lovely cousin. And we are connecting after a very long time. So thanks to Facebook and my stove, right? We have a lot of catching up to do, Reema. But today, due to our limited time, we are going to focus on your political career and your Kashmiri yummy cuisine. So, Reema, you are a Kashmiri American, right?
I am, yeah.
So let me just get back to the questions. Now, why did you decide to get into politics all of a sudden, from being an entrepreneur to a politician?
Well, basically, for the past, I want to say 10, 12 years, have been very much into entrepreneurship. I founded a nonprofit called South Asian Young Women Entrepreneurs about 12 years ago. And it started as a little group in New York, and it kind of grew into a national organization. We were very lucky to get Fortune 500 sponsors in and just amazing mentors who would come and speak to women. That has been really like a huge part of my life for many, many years. About eight years ago, I started a company called Lux, where I take U.S. infrastructure investments abroad and market them to foreign investors. I work within a program called the EB-5 program, which is an investor immigration program.
Okay.
So for the past, I want to say before COVID, for the, past 6, 7, 8 years of my life, I have been traveling so much that I haven't really had time to look around. I was extremely busy. I was in Asia maybe twice a month.
We know that thanks to Facebook. You vlog on all your travels.
That's right. That's right. And I was actually lucky enough to even open an office in Jammu, open an office in Srinagar. And so I would be in Kashmir 6 times a year. I was so lucky to be in Kashmir 6 times a year, to be, in UAE. We opened an office in Dubai. We opened an office in Turkey. And then COVID hit. And as you can imagine, we all know what happened to business travel.
I know.
Collapsed.
Right.
My entire company was based on corporate business travel because I would take principles from these investments and take them abroad to introduce them to investors.
Right.
And so I was literally grounded after years of just always kind of being on the road, and grounded, kind of in a way that none of us saw coming, right? None of us saw that coming.
Right. Nobody knew. Absolutely. A surprise. Ta-ta.
It's a surprise.
Here I am, right?
Not only here I am, I'm taking away your livelihood, right? It did. I built this company. I put my heart and soul into it. I'm a mother. I have 2 boys, as you know. I took time away. When you're really building something, and you really have to put your heart and soul into it. And I was very depressed. I'm not going to lie to you, for a couple of months.
Yeah, yes.
It was like a loss.
I think most of the people were.
I was very depressed. And then I started looking around where I live. That's the key. I started looking around and I started realizing that, especially my first look was infrastructure. And I said to myself, this is such a shame that, I'm born and raised here where I live in New York 3 in Long Island.
Yes, yes.
And
You are a New Yorker. We know that,
total
Reema.
New Yorker, right? And
Born and raised here.
yeah, born and raised. And I was very kind of like taken aback at, as a small business owner, I would look at like our downtown and I'd say, these businesses are great. We have great small business owners. They're the lifeline of our communities. They're hiring our neighbors. They're building our local economies. But we're not even providing proper parking for them in our downtowns. Do you know what I mean? Like it's our infrastructure was just
it wasn't strong enough for the
not at
little
all.
business community.
Not at all. And just in general, like I feel like the roads here, everything was better. They were better when I was a teenager than now.
Well, the construction we have been seeing, even I'm seeing it here, like living for the past 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Coming to Long Island is a nightmare.
Oh
it is. The Belt Parkway, especially the Belt Parkway. It's
That's what I tell everybody. I'm like, we have to, I am into these very local issues, traffic, exactly what you said. Small business infrastructure for our main streets and our small business owners. Our water quality in Long Island is very subpar compared to Queens and New York City water, which is amazing. I went to NYU and, I used to drink water right out of my tap in the city. You cannot do that right now in Long Island. And, it's these little things. I have my son Noah is 15 years old now. And
I can't believe it. He is 15 already. Reema.
It's been 6 feet tall.
A long time. Yes.
And he constantly was complaining to me, Mom, our water. And I said to myself, so in 2021, I actually ran very locally for town council here where I live in Oyster Bay. And I learned so much about the political process and politics and how campaigns work. And it's a whole new world to like us regular people who are not these political
familiar with it. Yes.
It's a very different world. And I said to myself, I kind of like it, but there's so much to learn. And it's not exactly built for a candidate like you or me. Do you know what I mean? And I've always been someone who likes to fight.
It takes me to the next question. And the next question is that, do you think politics is a dirty game? Do you agree with it or disagree?
You know what? I don't know about the dirty game word, but it is very complicated. And I know it's a funny thing to say, but it's very political. There are teams.
You have to be politically correct.
You have to be politically. But that's what I don't like. That's part of the reason why I'm running. Because see, for me, all these labels, you're this, you're that, are this kind of a politician? Are you this kind of Democrat? I feel like all of these labels are just meant to divide us.
Yes.
And make us distracted with like reality style fighting between groups over nonsense. And the real things that matter to us, our drinking water, are falling through the cracks because all of our politicians are kind of worried about their next soundbite, their next appearance on 24-hour news media. And it's just really disappointing. And I'm sick of identity politics. I think I'm really sick of all these labels. And I feel like I don't see, people who are just really focused on the issues that we have here and really looking for like a result-based focus. What can we do to change it? What can we do to change it? And that's what I feel I can bring to this. I'm not, I'm not a career politician. I don't know if I ever will run for another seat. I don't think I would, to be honest. I think it's just a matter of I really would love to see more people like me in politics. And I've always believed that representation matters.
It does.
I'm playing to win, but at the same time, I know that there are a lot of people who are looking at this candidacy, hopefully my children, hopefully that next generation of future candidates saying, oh, okay, this is something we can do too. And so that's,
Absolutely, Reema. I think you're a big inspiration because we all have that thing in our mind, a mindset or politics. No, we can't do it. But
absolutely,
you're right. We need to have people from different mindset to
absolutely,
enter this profession as well. And we need we need representatives. If there are no representatives, then who's going to listen to us
absolutely,
or to listen to other groups?
absolutely.
So, whatever you are doing, you should be very proud of yourself, and it's not an easy game. And I wish that the politicians they address these little things first before looking at and getting fixated on like a whole bigger picture, which is very difficult to resolve, right?
Absolutely. And they make
Now,
everything so political, things that
and
shouldn't be.
why can't we say the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, if we are penalized if we say the truth,
Mhm.
people don't like it.
Yeah.
So why can't we just,
Yeah.
speak our heart or speak
Absolutely.
our mind? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so.
All right. So who is your most inspirational politician?
That is such a amazing question. I will be really honest with you. So, not a lot of people know this. My biggest inspirational politician is my nana. My nana was a politician in
Ah,
Kashmir,
uh-huh.
and he was. When I was little, he actually was a diplomat. He retired as ambassador, the first ambassador from India to Jordan.
Yes.
He was a member of he was an attorney, then he was a judge, member of parliament, he was health minister,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just a really honest guy. And he helped educate so many people. God bless his soul, he's passed away now. But when I do this and when I'm out there, he's always in my thoughts. And
Uh-huh.
I do believe that he's somewhere with me and kind of giving me the courage to go out there and do it.
So see, it came, you inherited it, and it's in your genes, it's in your family politics, right? So I don't know why I'm static, but I am just going to ignore my picture because you are not static, and that's the most important thing. At least I'm smiling, right?
It's a good shot.
I don't know why I got static. All right. So, Arima, we will do more questions as you cook as well, just to save
Sure,
time. So you
sure.
are originally, I mean, your parents are originally from Kashmir, so that makes you an American Kashmiri,
Yes.
and you're hardcore when it comes to Kashmiri culture and cuisine. And I have tried your yummy, food. Your mom is an excellent chef, and I miss her cooking as well. So, tell me, what is vazavan?
So Wasban is a very traditional Kashmiri banquet.
Yes.
That is basically was in Kashmiri means a chef or a cook,
Mm-hmm.
and wan actually means like shop. Uh, and so Wazwan is this amazing, it's, I can't even explain it. I can't even think of anything else in the world that can compare. It's a meal prepared mostly of mutton dishes.
Yes.
And it's served at, weddings, funerals, any kind of big occasion. And it's a shared meal where four people sit on one trami. Trami is the platter that
Okay.
is served in. And there are several courses. I mean, I think traditionally and originally, maybe there were 7 or 8 courses. But as you can imagine, with time, I think I've been to a Vazwan with like 30 courses.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, depending
14 plus dishes
absolutely
in
depending
one go.
on the grandness of the event. Obviously a wedding will be,
Uh-huh.
have a lot of dishes and just different styles of prepared mutton. You have salmon, which is actually one of my favorites, which is a huge piece of paneer cooked in tomato.
I love it.
A lot of people are familiar with the rista and gushtaba,
Yes, yes.
with different
Uh-huh.
types
And
of
tabak, I think I'm pronouncing it right.
tabak maz is
Maz,
lamb
okay.
rib. So
Mhm.
maz is gosh, is meat, mutton.
Okay.
So tabak maz it's just a really specially prepared lamb rib.
Mm-hmm.
That is like one of I think my favorite tastes on earth. It's so good,
I love
especially
it.
when the vaza prepares it.
Uh-huh.
And so the thing about Vazwan is that it's not traditionally something that Kashmiri like moms make at home. It's a
Right.
special something,
It
right?
is special. And the chef who's making it is called the Vazavan,
The
right?
vaza, the
He's
vaza.
trained
Mm.
in those sorts of dishes.
Oh, not only trained. So these are families that go back generations.
Ah,
It's a
okay.
it's a very
Kinship.
special it's a very special tradition that not everybody can do. The way the food is prepared, it's all cooked outdoor.
Outdoor, yes.
Outdoor, they do the qurbani of of
Uh-huh.
the lamb, and
Yes.
the next thing you know, sorry about that. My dad
It's
was.
all right. I know you're a busy lady.
And the next thing you know, they have a fire going outside, and
Yes.
they literally cook all of this outside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting and delicious,
It is good.
and it is special because
Mm,
you don't cook it at home. You have a special team that comes
right,
in.
right.
They literally make an outdoor kitchen.
Rima, you have no idea how much Vazavan is on my mind at the moment. And it's been on my mind for a few months now. And I really want to go to Kashmir and one day and try Vazavan
And
and attend a Kashmiri wedding as well.
but we actually, if you Google it and if you go on Facebook, we do have some caterers now in the U.S. That are doing a little bit of Osvan, and they deliver it. They certain dishes. I can.
But you don't get that feeling, the atmosphere, the ambience,
Yeah.
the aroma. So it's something that I want to witness all together in one. All
That,
right. So what are we cooking today?
after talking about these like fancy things, let me tell you what I'm going to make because I knew we only had a little bit of
Okay, I am going to try to make this one screen and
Good idea.
remove myself, and then I'll try to re-enter. All right.
All right.
So okay, so now I am completely blank. No idea what happened. Okay, so go ahead, Reema.
So let me tell you what I'm making. This is something that I make really quickly for my children. It is really simple. You can do it so many different ways. You can go sweet, you can go savory. It is the classic Desi French toast. So I think the difference between French toast here and the French toast that we make in South Asia is that the French toast we make usually does not need syrup because it already is very sweet if you're going the sweet way.
Okay.
It can also be made savory. In the so you can combine, you can put some green chili, you can put some onion, whatever you want. But it's very easy. And the trick is really the sweetness, the level of sweetness. So you just do 2 eggs whipped in a bowl, a tablespoon of milk. Literally, just 1 tablespoon of milk is all I do. Sugar to taste. Some people like it sweeter. Some people like it less sweet. My trick is to always do a tablespoon of ghee in the pan because you get that yummy crispness.
I love ghee.
Oh,
I
me too.
absolutely love it. Okay, Reema, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put you on the screen till you
Oh,
cook it. You
okay.
take your time because my screen is blank now. So I will give you the screen and you can explain. And while you're explaining, I would appreciate if you focus the camera on the ingredients
Oh,
and just explain it to us what all those ingredients you are using. All right.
sure.
I'm here. I'm
Sure.
just removing myself so
No
people
worries.
can see you more clearly.
Just gonna do this. Okay. So I have my 2 eggs in a bowl beaten. I put 1 tablespoon of milk in there. I put sugar to taste. And it's that simple because I'm doing the sweet version. And then some bread, cut the edges off, right? And then, depending on your taste, you want to put a little cinnamon in the egg mixture, whatever you like. And as I said, this can also be savory. So you can do in here, green chilies, onions, like whatever you like, whatever you prefer. Then back here, I have a little frying pan with a teaspoon of ghee that is just about melted. And simply enough, you just will dip, the bread, the cut bread. I cut the edges off because my kids do not like the crusts of the bread. All right. And we make this, I'll be honest with you, I actually mostly make this after dinner as a dessert, because it's just so easy and so fast. And it makes me laugh thinking that we were talking about the regalness and grandeur of Vazvan, and then I'm standing here making you for Desi French toast. But I sometimes think the best yummiest things are the simple recipes. And I know for a fact that this is something different because you don't really get this here in the diner or in the restaurant. The French toast, the Western style French toast, I think is a little bit different. Not as kind of, we for us, I think the Desi French toast, the thing about it is that it's extremely it's nice and crispy on the outside, but it's really nice and mushy and soft on the inside. And so I have the ghee in the pan, 1 tablespoon, really simple. I'm just gonna let it, I have the heat kind of medium, and just gonna let it brown on one side. And there's so many things you can do with this, like whatever. It can be a breakfast food. This can be a dessert food. This can be a lunch. It's just a really easy something to do when you have the kids. You're busy. You
Right.
don't, go crazy. My kids have become kind of picky eaters.
Oh, mine, the younger one is as well. So,
Yeah.
Reema, what is your favorite Kashmiri dish?
Oh, we talked about it. I think there are two things. One is the tabak mas that we were talking about, the lamb.
Uh-huh.
It's divine. It's just one of the yummiest things ever. And I think the other one would be tsaman, which is the paneer that's made
Yes, you
into
did mention
dough.
to me. I think I forgot. Okay, so is it tough for a Muslim American Kashmiri girl to get into politics?
You know what? I would. I think it's tough for anybody to get into politics. I think that for me it was something a little bit different because my parents are both doctors. My brother is also a doctor here in New York, and I think that coming from that kind of professional background, it was very unknown. But I think that's what I always do. I always kind of, even when I went into business and I didn't want to do medicine, as you can
Right,
imagine,
right,
it's
right.
also a very freak out event for my family. So I wouldn't say.
But you've always been a people's person. This is my impression about you. Like,
I think that's true.
happy-go-lucky, sociable,
Yeah.
into fashion, meeting people, marketing. This is, when I saw your Lux organization, it was so you.
Yeah.
But now you have transformed, you have brought that whatever experience you had gained then as an entrepreneur,
Right.
you're bringing it as a politician to the table.
And I think that's my whole point, is that I feel like we need some more real people in
Right.
DC representing us. I have been through a lot. I started a company. It wasn't easy. I hired people. I built something.
Right.
I'm always trying to do the best for my children and
Uh-huh.
trying to do the best for my family. And
Of course.
I know how to build something. I know how to make a budget. I know how to build something that's sustainable and how to get results. And I think that some of these qualities are essential for the people that we have in DC. And I don't think that sometimes we focus on that. We focus on, for our politicians, we have kind of like a different standard for them that, they should be either part of a political family or, who's the what. I just feel like we need people who've actually lived real lives
Right.
like had real experiences that can empathize with real everyday working people for the things that
Yes.
we need. I think our
Mhm.
politicians live in a bubble and they don't get it. They don't
Mhm.
they don't understand
So
how
we have
different.
Reema to pop the bubble, right?
Inshallah, that's what I'm trying to do. This is my French.
Could you bring it closer to the camera? Let me just remove myself, then I'll come in again.
Here it is. It's I don't think it's you can it's very crispy on the outside. We don't want to go too crispy because then the kids will say, "Why is it so brown?" Right? So it's crispy on the outside and very soft and kind of mushy on the inside. I don't know if you can kind of get an idea. But the inside is really soft and almost like a bread pudding consistency that you get when you soak the toast for long enough, and then you put it in that hot ghee right away, and you get just the most amazing contrast of the crispy outside and the gooey bread puddingy type of inside. And I
I'm
have to
hungry,
say that is
Reema.
something that we make a little bit maybe too much in this house because
Uh-huh.
it's so
And
yummy.
it's very nutritious. Kids still like it. It's
It's
easy to
eggs,
make.
milk, and you can
Mhm.
use a sugar substitute,
Right.
right? You can,
Right.
and so when you really think about it, what's in there that's so awful,
I
right?
know. I know.
I always am a big fan of ghee. I don't think that, I think ghee is better than butter, right?
Uh-huh.
The
I
clarified,
love tea.
yeah.
I love it anytime. So, Areem,
Mm.
w- what is your day like?
Oh, my
You're
days.
a busy mama.
I am. I'm a little bit busy. I actually am a very early riser. Thank God that he gave me that that on his own. I'm not somebody that sleeps in. I never have been. My younger son, his school bus comes at about 7:05 every morning. So I'm up before him, getting him ready, getting him on the bus. Between the two buses, then my older son's bus comes at about 8:30. So between then, I start opening my emails, doing a lot of reading. I'm applying for a lot of different types of endorsements these days from different groups. So I do a lot of these kind of endorsement applications, trying to, find support.
Of course.
And then phone calls. And the most awkward thing that I think I've ever done in my life, just making phone calls all day, asking people to donate to the campaign. I think that is maybe the most awkward and hellish thing I've ever
But
done.
that's what you have to do. You need funds, right?
That's
I
it's
mean, otherwise, how can your party sustain and your campaign?
that's
So,
exactly
how can where can people vote for you? What's the
so,
process?
so this is New York 3. So we just actually got relined. So New York 3 now is a little bit of Suffolk County, Nassau County, Queens, the Bronx, and Westchester. So we've expanded into 5 counties. It's a humongous district. A lot of people who live in New York might not even know that their lines have been moved, their lines have been changed. They may be living in a different district now. This has always traditionally been more of a Long Island seat, but now with the expansion into Westchester and the Bronx, as you can imagine, our operation has to expand. We have to meet voters in Westchester, get to know their issues in the Bronx as well. I do a lot of studying, I do a lot of calls. And I try to talk to people and convince them to support me.
Of
And I think
course.
going back to your question about
Mhm.
is it hard for a Muslim Kashmiri girl to be in politics? I think the thing is that uh, our people, it's very difficult for us to have those networks of financial support because we're not that advanced yet, like living in America for 1 generation, 2 generations, maybe 3 generations. We're not as civically involved as maybe other groups. And so a lot of times people don't understand why we need funds for politics. Why are we raising this money? What is it being spent on? For example, next month in March, now that we have the line of the district, I have to put together we've already done it, but imagine we have to pay for an entire operation to get signatures to get on the ballot. So
Mm.
all over the district, we're going to be having, paid canvassers and lists and trying to get 1,250 names, clean and clear Democrats that have not signed any other petition for any other candidates to get on the ballot. You can imagine how expensive that operation is.
Of
And
course. I
yeah,
mean, politics, campaigns, you need money.
we need,
Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. You need financing. You need a good, strong financer
yeah,
for it. And Kashmiri community, you have a big Kashmiri community.
yeah,
And most of them, they're very educated. They are affluent people because Kashmiris, I feel, that are very smart people, and they love to study and are progressive,
yeah.
extremely progressive.
Oh, that's for sure. I've been,
Most of them I see Kashmiris are doctors. They are in medical field or they are engineers. These are the two main professions that
mhm,
I
I,
have seen
mhm,
among the Kashmiri people, which is great. Okay, so the last question, Raim.
mhm.
If you win the elections, what would be the first thing you would do?
I'll be honest with you. There's so many things I want to do, but my major platform is universal health care, Medicare for all. I think after this pandemic, I think we all can see that it is not smart for people's health care to be attached to their jobs.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense to me that people are losing health care during a pandemic, right? Coming from a family of doctors, I can very boldly say that the best thing that can happen, I think, for this country, for the health of this country and the richest country in the world, we should not have people that are not going to the doctor because they don't have health care.
Right.
You know, we shouldn't have reactionary medicine here. We should have people who feel, stability with their health. And
Right.
I always say, a lot of people are like, oh, why should I be paying for this person? No, everyone's going to pay in
Right.
universal health care. I
Right.
don't think that it's a bad thing to live as a society and take care of our more vulnerable.
I
I think
think this is how the community is built.
correct. Absolutely. And
So and sharing is caring. So we have to take care of each other, right?
absolutely.
In order to sustain ourselves too.
Hmm.
So I am going to share one of the food facts. The most stolen food in the world is cheese.
Wow.
So this is from 20 Weird Food Facts. Yes.
That's
So,
so sweet.
Reema Rasool, we are very, very honored and we are so happy to have you on my stove. It was a pleasure talking to you
Thank
and
you.
reconnecting with you after many, many years. And you haven't changed, but you are still beautiful, Reema, that I know of.
That's so
So,
sweet.
guys, please go forward and vote for Reema Rasool, New York
And,
District 3.
and please check out my website, reemaforcongress.com. REEMA for congress.com. And my
And
policies
you're
are
also on Instagram as well, right? What's your Instagram ID?
Reema for Congress.
Okay,
If you go to
awesome.
the website, all of my social links are there. You can,
Yes.
follow us, engage with us. That's the best support we can have. And of course, if you can, I know it's so hard these days for people. It's not easy to donate to a campaign. A lot of people are struggling, but if you can, $20, $50, I'd appreciate it so much.
That would be great. Yes, I'm going to put all your social media IDs once I make your announcement. But
Thank
thank you so much, Reema. Enjoy your French toast today.
you.
And thank you so much for your time again.
Thank you.
Toodles!
Take care. Bye-bye.